What's up, my friends? Neptune is now retrograde. We have Venus entering Virgo tomorrow. We have a new moon in Cancer coming up in about 6 days from now. Just wanted to pop in and take thought beyond where it's ever been before. So, thank you for joining me. Certainly, a lot going on in the world today, and it's never been more true that we are creating our own reality, and everything that we perceive as the physical objective reality is actually being created by our subjective perception. And this is equally true for all of us, of course. And so the nature of reality is friendly personality. Everything that appears as form is personality, and we are this personality. And so there's different dimensions and aspects, obviously, and we as an individual human are the leading edge point of focus, and we have the totality of this original one personality focused with us and through us, wanting to experience with us everything that we want to experience because it is us. And so we have the prerogative to continually clarify our own vibration, recognize when we're feeling negative emotion, and continually return our attention to our breath. And in so doing, this automatically causes us to release resistance, and therefore we align with the pure positive frequency that is source, and that corresponds to everything that we wish to experience. And so we're going to continuously receive inspired ideas that move us into inspired action. And this is the Wild Horses Principle. This is Wu Wei. This is what because it just feels so good actually means. We are able to access our heart center, have our mind be completely clear, and know that everything that comes into our mind is going to be inspired from this pure positive frequency that matches everything we want to experience. And if it doesn't feel good, then we can just repeat the process and release that resistance. So the negative emotion that doesn't feel good is our indication that we currently have a thought active, which is not accurate, which is not in alignment with the truest nature of reality, which is that everything is always working out for us and for everyone. And so even though in the 3D, 4D reality, things can appear to be heavy and really effed up, we're able to continuously transmute this by having compassion. We can be aware of what's happening without getting drawn into it and becoming more of the problem. We can actually create the solution. And this is first and foremost vibration. First and foremost, it's our thoughts. And all of this creates our emotion. And so the brevity is the soul of wit. And so the fool is the highest ideal, to be in our heart following our bliss. My best friend and I call it NASCAR the Buddha, or Buddha the NASCAR guy, because it's kind of insane to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR and drive hundreds of miles an hour around a track in this dangerous way where we could crash and die. And yet there's something fun about NASCAR. And so this is a metaphor for life. And so we are this infinite personality that is eternal and undying and unchanging, and yet always becoming more. So it's like, why bother even incarnating into a physical experience? Well, the reason is because we get to be here in one place at one time and get to experience the pleasure and the joy of not needing to be in all places at all times, and getting to be in one place at one time in this current moment and just do what feels good. And so we actually are able to allow our cork to float, as Abraham teaches, by allowing ourselves to be irresponsible. In the Tao Te Ching, it says if we try to fix the world, we ruin it. So, what Jesus actually taught was that this world was an illusion. And when Jesus talked about evil or the devil or Satan or Lucifer, like what he was actually talking about was the state. So he was talking about the unconscious governmental structures that were oppressing the people. And so the idea is that what's real is beyond this physical reality. And so that whole thing about it's more difficult for a rich person, it's like a camel passing through the eye of a needle. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to enter heaven. So what this is referring to is when we're physically attached to our ego, when we actually believe that the physical matter is the be all end all, then it keeps us trapped in this illusion where we're constricted and we're in scarcity and competition. And we believe that there's a finite number of resources and a finite reality. And so this prevents us from accessing heaven, which is a state of mind, which is knowing our eternal nature, where there's more than enough to go around. Abundance is our birthright, and everything is constantly replenishing and renewing, and everything that we could possibly want or desire is created from the formless substance. So as Wallace Wattles teaches in The Science of Getting Rich, the way that this occurs is through established channels. So it's not necessarily going to manifest out of thin air because there's already established channels for us to get what we want. And so if there wasn't already an established channel for us to get what we want, then it would materialize from the formless substance, because this is the nature of reality. And so nothing serious is going on here. I hope you're all doing well out there. And I understand that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about with crypto probably does not translate, because my whole thing is the art of allowing and spirituality, and that specifically led me to exactly what I'm doing with crypto. But if anybody wants any specific information, I'm here. I'm happy to share what I'm doing. And my friends and I have a really exciting project launching called the Homies, the Hex origin address mining instance or minting instance on Ethereum. And what this is an NFT that continuously airdrops you a new currency, which is peer-to-peer cash. So by purchasing the NFT every day, you get 2 peer-to-peer cash every day. And through the system that we're creating, where that peer-to-peer cash a fair market value is established. So we are essentially creating new currencies that are decentralized, which cannot be regulated or turned off or shut down by any external force. It's the leading edge, and we are creating a decentralized solution. So all of this 3D, 4D stuff that's falling apart in the physical world that keeps getting more and more insane, we are actually creating the solution. And so it's a way for the average person to leverage the magic of life and the power of the universe. And so it's like about the collective upliftment. It's about more for all and less for none. And it's about creating an actual enlightened system of money in which everybody has equal access and we all benefit from coming together for the purpose of co-creation. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to shoot me a DM, and that information is always going to be free. So, I may do different projects in the future where I'm charging a price for certain things, like the Patreon. If you want to get access to every video I've ever created, you can check that out on Patreon. But as far as the information about the crypto, that's always going to be free, because that's the model. So it's just word of mouth. I'm happy to share everything I know. I'm never going to charge you for that. And I'm not necessarily directly benefiting from you getting involved with the same crypto projects as me, other than the more people who get involved, this causes the value to go up for everyone. But part of the ethos is that we don't dump on our friends' heads. So whereas in some crypto, the model is we're just trying to get people to buy what we have so that we can sell it, we have systems in place that allows us to continuously create a positive price performance for everyone. So there are higher laws that we are putting into play here, and I'm just very enthusiastic to share this with as many people as possible. So I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you at the perfect moment. Peace.